Hello, my name is Benjamin Arroyo, and this is going to be my informative speech for Communication 101. And for my speech, I will be talking to you guys about the different types of cultures, ethics, and traditions, and how they impact to us in human life and into the world. Alright, so as we all know, culture has a really big impact on human life. They provide with so many things such as different types of beliefs, religion, diverse traditions, and so many other things that make us who we are as people. One thing you should know about is that culture has been with us since the beginning of time, basically. They show us how people back then lived in their environment, how they hunted for food, how they live with one another, and most importantly, how they deal with it with one another. Like today, we have our own different types of environments, we have our own different types of beliefs, our own different types of religions, and how we hunt for food. Well, now we don't really hunt. Now we just go to the supermarket and just get our foods now and then. But either way, as I was saying, I would have to say culture has made us really interesting creatures in this world because the culture has defined us by who we are, what we believe in, and whether or not if it's either good or bad. I don't really think there should be any good or bad cultures, but if there are, that's how it is. They deal with it. They make us who we. They include so many things such as enculturation and cultural socialization. What is enculturation, you may ask? Well, enculturation is basically a background of a group, of a person or a group of people of what they believe in, how they deal with it, what's the impact to it, and most importantly, how they treat with it, like their characteristics of their culture, whether they really believe in it or if they don't. And that's how it goes along with culture, because enculturation, it's just basically a person's background of who they are. And it can also help us if that person is the person that we want to hang out with, or is the type of person that we want to be avoided from. Making sure they're either good, making sure they're either bad, making sure they have something to give up to for life. And as for cultural socialization, is basically a way of making people interacting with one another, meeting new people. It's like meeting new friends, basically. You're learning on one person's beliefs, learning one person's different types of foods, different types of music, different types of what they believe, what type of traditions they celebrated. And yeah, that's basically how socialization has a big impact on culture. Because without these two, we wouldn't know what to do with it. If we didn't have culture, we'd all just be the same, and we wouldn't even have the guts to talk with one another. We would just be like, today, for instance, if you want to talk to someone, you could just go on your phone and that's it. But back then, it wasn't like that. In order for one to make friends, or in order for one to talk with one another, they had to get to know each other better, but very, very deeply, such as their cultures, such as their religions, such as their beliefs and all that stuff. And yeah, basically, yeah. There are a lot of different types of examples, such as for me, since I'm Hispanic, I have my own culture. My family and I were very religious. We're very, I want to say serious Catholic people, but it's just our type of religion. And while some people in my family may not like it when some of us decide to change our religion to something else, that's the way how they lived in it. That's how they made me. That's how I was raised with. So of course I would never question about what I believe in, because if I do, then I don't know. I want to know who I am to begin with. No, because if you don't have a culture and if you don't have a purpose or anything, then what are you providing to the world? Who are you? Who are you basically? And with that, and if you have culture, which I'm pretty sure we all do, They make us who we are. They make us who what we have to provide, and they also help us meet new people, like with socialization, for instance. They make us meet new people. They make us meet people who don't have the same religion, who don't have the same culture as we do, but we still like to but we still like to know more about them. We like to learn about them, and that's how one one person with another gets to have a very deeply friendship and all that. But there are different types of cultures, like I said before, such as me, Hispanic culture, Chinese culture, um, Christianity, all those other countries that have their own. Like yeah, we each have our own different types of cultures and traditions and what we do. Like me, for instance, for traditions, like whenever it's like when it's like around November, we always celebrate the Day of the Dead, the Dia de los Muertos, to celebrate our relatives who once passed away and haven't managed to meet, had to say goodbye to them and even talk to them. Or for Chinese culture, they have their own New Year, for instance, like Chinese Lunar New Year, where they throw lanterns on the ceilings and they talk to spirits and all that stuff. Like, yeah, every culture has their own different types of benefits, different types of music, different types of food, different types of family, laws, art, knowledge, wisdom, and all that stuff. They make us who we are. They make us people. And I think it's something we have to that we have to take it very, we shouldn't take it for granted, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And instead of taking it for granted, maybe we can use that as an impact to get to know with one each other better. And if we do that, maybe that will stop with the whole racism thing, with the whole discrimination. And if that happens, which I probably know that it'll take some time, but if that happens, then that's how we get to get along with one another, and there will be no fights, no disagreements. Well, maybe some disagreements, but nothing too violent, you know. And yeah, like for me, for instance, I would say it has provided me with so many things, such as music, for instance. My types of music I like to listen to, they're not always in Spanish, but I like all kinds of music, such as K-pop, hip-hop, maybe some 80s, and maybe some Spanish music, like Juanes, for instance. It's an artist. And, yeah, like, they make us who we are. And I think that's a really good thing that we have to provide to the world and to our society. My name is Benjamin Arroyo. This is my informative speech about different types of cultures, ethics, and traditions. I really hope you liked it. I really hope you enjoyed it. And have a nice day, everyone. Thank you for coming. And that's all for today, folks.